So
we're just a special interest group. You are the people.
Just working people. That's all. I don't know. I don't even know how many bills there are, but at least 30 to 40 on our list that we're at least going to have our eye on. That doesn't mean they're all going to move like lightning, right? There's going to be hundreds of bills. They don't all move. And that's something to know. If you see a bill introduced, it doesn't mean it's going to make it through both bodies. It's actually likely not to, right? As we get closer to the end. So we, at the staff at the AFL-CIO, our lobbyists, our affiliates, we're all eyes on Juneau, as you said at the beginning, watching these bills kick off.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we don't maybe run the place, but that's just how the process works. I know people don't like to do this. People don't like to make predictions because they don't want to be wrong. But if you broke out a crystal ball, what would you predict are some things that might happen this legislative session with what we've seen so far?
Sure. And I'm not telling any state secrets here. If you've read the news at all and read the Alaska Current, the Alaska Beacon, the ADN, the News Miner, education is at the front of everyone's minds. Our school districts are struggling. They have multi-million-dollar deficits. We can't keep teachers. We're closing schools. Everyone in the House majority, many members of the Senate majority, it came out in their priorities. They want to deal with the base student allocation or the funding that comes from the state to our school districts. Guns a-blazing towards education funding. Friday is the first meeting of the House Education Committee. I would expect something to come out of that committee, right? That's going to be their charge. That committee is made up of educators and school board members. It's amazing to know that all of these people, regardless of party, know something about their district or the education system. So I expect something to come out of there because we need to get going on this. So that's going to be top of mind. They want to get that passed because then, as we saw last time, we were able to pass a permanent increase to the BSA, ultimately vetoed by Governor Dunleavy. I might say deja vu all over again in the famous words of Yogi Berra. And every year we get closer and closer to getting enough members to override the veto. We haven't made that threshold yet, but we're going to try really hard. I predict that coming up quick. The pension bill is going to get, hearings pretty soon. It's already in the Senate. Maybe there'll be another one in the House, right? Because they can introduce the same types of bills. That's going to be, we can do two things at once, right? And so we know the BSA is important and pensions are important. So I think that's going to come up here pretty soon. The other looming thing that doesn't just matter to the labor movement, to all Alaskans, is the energy crisis. They're having presentations right now from different producers and then people part of the administration. What are we doing about energy? What are we building? How are we going to keep our heat going? There's been articles about rolling brownouts. It's scary. People want to heat their homes. We might be having record warm temperatures right now. That is not a guarantee for the future. We need to have energy. So energy is a big deal. I think those are kind of the three top of mind things that I heard from both the House majority and the Senate majority leadership. So I know that means they're signaling what they want to deal with. I do predict that just like last session, there are going to be some really popular bills that pass both bodies with a lot of support that meet the veto pen of the governor. It's unfortunate. It's what we've been dealing with for years. The other thing I'll predict, and this is not a hot take at all, is that the budget gets done at the very last minute. And a lot of
who would have thought
craziness happens at the end, of course. And then we have to wait for the line item veto of the governor. I'm excited to know that more pro-labor people are elected. So I know our issues are going to be at the front of everyone's minds as well. So, I predict hijinks and shenanigans like every session. But I predict our priorities are their priorities. And so we're going to have a lot of work to do.
That always seems a safe bet to predict some sort of hijinks, and I'm going to hold you to it. Maybe we'll come back at the end of session. We'll roll the tape and see exactly what happened. So we're just a special interest group. You are the people.
Just working people.